Hey guys, it's me again, back with review video number 6. And in this video, we're going to do a quick review of simplifying expressions with quotients. Now remember, quotients is just another word for division. So all these problems have to do with division. So the first thing we kind of talked about when we learned this material was learning the idea of finding the reciprocal of a fraction. And remember our key word here, right, when we saw reciprocal, we are just thinking about the word flip, right? To find the reciprocal, we're just flipping that fraction. So my first one, if I have the fraction 3/7 and I were asked to find the reciprocal, I would just switch the numerator and denominator, and my reciprocal would be 7/3. For the second one, again, I have the same idea. I'm flipping the numerator and denominator, so it becomes 2/9. Now I have to be careful. If this was a negative, my reciprocal stays negative. That sign does not change. Another example I'm going to add here, just because we haven't talked about it in a while. Let's say they gave you the number 5 and asked for the reciprocal. Right? We need to remember that 5 is the same as 5/1. So if I were going to find that reciprocal, now I just flip, and my reciprocal would be 1/5. Okay, then we worked on finding the quotient when I kind of had a fraction within a fraction, right? 12 divided by 3/4. And when we learned this, we had kind of talked about the idea of this is the same as saying 12 divided by 3/4. And then we learned our keep, change, flip. So we said, well, we keep the 12, the division changed to multiplication, and then we just flipped our fraction. So 12 times 4/3, I'm going to use my calculator. So I have 12 times 4/3, and that gives us 16. So we can certainly use that method on the final, but I also want you guys to be aware of, since this is multiple choice and you're not really required, so I could always just enter this into my calculator, and here's how I would do it. I'm going to first enter a fraction, because I know I have a fraction here. My numerator is 12. Now in the denominator, I have another fraction. So when I go down, I'm going to use my n/d key again. I'm going to type in 3/4. And when I get out and hit enter, you'll see I get 16. So again, you won't be required to show work on the test because it's multiple choice. So if you're more comfortable just using your calculator, that's completely fine. So here's one more, just kind of practicing the calculator here. I have my n/d key. On top is 6. Again, I'm going to go, my denominator now is a fraction, so I need another fraction there. And I'm going to type in 2/3. And that's going to give me an answer of 9. Okay, so here either keep, change, flip, or just using the calculator is totally acceptable for the final. So then the only other piece of this here is where we were simplifying expressions that had a quotient in it. Right, and my hint here is to use the heart method. Right, and so here's how this looked if you don't remember. Right, what we do is we take the first term in the numerator and we divided that by the denominator. So I have 6 divided by 3 gives me 2, and I know that x has to come along. And now I'm going to complete my heart. I have a positive 15 because there was a plus sign there, divided by 3. And so that 15 divided by 3, since they're both positive, is going to give me a +5. And now I'm simplified. I don't have any like terms, I have no parentheses, and I don't have this kind of fraction or division in there anymore. Okay, so again, this might be a good point if you kind of remember this method, feel good about it, do the other 3 examples, and then check back in with the video. Okay, so again, I use my heart method. I have 18x divided by 9. Everything's positive, so I don't have to worry about that. I have 18 divided by 9 is going to give me a 2, and my x comes along with. Now here's where we have to be really careful. On top now I have a -27 divided by a positive 9. Okay, so I'm going to type in a -27 divided by a positive 9, and I get a minus 3. So I need to make sure I have the same sign. I copy it just how it is on my calculator. And now that's simplified. Okay, so the only way this gets trickier is to add more negatives. So now you'll see my first term is negative here. I have negative 12x divided by 2. So again, I'm really careful to do negative 12 divided by, I still have a positive 2. So now I have a negative 6, and the x goes with. When I complete my heart here, I have a negative 6 divided by 2, which is going to give me a negative 3, or minus 3. All right, one more to go. So again, here's a negative again. I have a 4 divided by a negative 2. 4 divided by negative 2 is a negative 2x. And now here's where I really need to watch out. I have a negative 4 divided by a negative 2. So negative 4 divided by a negative 2 gives me a positive 2. Since that's positive, this is going to be a plus 2. Okay, so that's the kind of quick recap for this section. Again, if you flip to the next page, you have some practice multiple choice with the answers there to help you out. That's it for now.